what the chat was saying initially, and so we could all laugh at Mini Maggot. Now, to be fair, apparently everyone was right in a sense, because apparently, now I don't know if this is intended or not, we're still not sure, and I'm definitely going to bring it up with the designers, but on a ranged hero, if they have a wing bow, the evasion does not work. I had not only us two, but multiple other people confirm this, whereas if you put it on a melee hero, it actually still will work. The evasion effect still will work even if you're sheep. So, again, apparently everyone was right in that sense. We'll see how that comes in the future as far as that goes. So, there you go. There you go.
I just thought that obviously it didn't work on range, so I assumed logically that it wouldn't work on.
Of course.
Would work on me. Oh well, Braggy. Back to the real point at hand.
Yeah.
Grand finals.
Now about the grand finals coming at us. No, obviously here we go again. Nullstone Gaming. They took a game off of Sync in the winter bracket semifinals, and a big reason for that game was because of Oogie. And look at who they have over here. They not only got Oogie, but they got Kraken Rhapsody. This is a very strong start here for Nullstone. I'm surprised, honestly. Ophelia, Parasite, Cthulhu, Swiftblade were the bans. But yeah, Sync valuing both the Parasite as well as the Swiftblade bans instead of Oogie. And they clearly banned Oogie in Game 3 last series. They ended up winning it but they made a point that they did not want to play that hero. We'll see. We'll see how it works out here in Game 3 or Game 1.
I'm a little bit surprised because after Nullstone have been absolutely dominating with Oogie, like most teams have just been blind banning it completely. Obviously, like BMG and obviously Tree as well, and yet Zinc, they obviously know and research Nullstone Gaming. They made a point about it after they lost to BMG. They do not underestimate anyone or any team, and they would have done a lot of research, obviously, on Nullstone Gaming. So yeah, I guess they have a plan about how to sort of deal with this Oogie pickup. They do follow up with a Doctor Repulsor, obviously good in terms of sort of kiting Oogie, but still not that hard game carry to really cut through Oogie. And I guess there have to be some kind of way to sort of address him, because if they don't address him, then we've seen the power of Oogie Breaky. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we definitely have. And again, overall, just a very strong start here. Now, there's a lot of chat going on, a lot of spam going on even between these two teams. I mean, for the most part, I think it's ultimately just fun. But at the same time, I mean, there's no doubt Sync is a little bit frustrated. You could almost say that they have to play on US East all the games. Again, that's just how it is. Nullstone technically a US West team, and that's how it's been. That's how it will continue to be. The rules just aren't going to automatically or randomly change all of a sudden. So all games will be on USC. So, and we've actually, I think it's even Insania, I talked about it before, where, the only team that, this was after everything, even the third cycle, when they were obviously winning at that point, really, everything. They were like, well, the only team that we're really kind of worried about is a U.S. team, specifically even Nullstone, because of the U.S. server, if anything. Hey, we saw last cycle how that's really not the case. Of course, BMG defeated them twice on European servers even. So, take that how you will. But I kind of think there's maybe a little bit of bitterness there, but maybe this is me just trying to oversell this at the same time. But we'll see. We'll see how this series ultimately, kind of plays out here. But Electrician coming out from Nullstone. Are we going to see the Lord South Force again as well? I mean, this is looking pretty similar.
I mean, we talked about how, the incredible tanky and sort of frontliner durable heroes are being picked up from Nullstone Gaming, and I mean they've got 3 out of the 4 breaky. They could make a home run and go for 4 out of 5 breaky, but
yeah.
I mean, why not though? I mean, I said the reason why that the tanky lineup works so well in terms of strategy is that Zinc they pick up these sort of team fight heroes that do incredibly well in the team fight, and they are able to burst them the enemy team down whilst the ultimates are still active, like the Magmus Eruption, the Tempest ultimate. But like I said before, Breaky, these tanky heroes will survive the Magmus Eruption. They'll survive the Pyromancer Blazing Strike. They'll survive the Tempest ultimate. And they have to be thinking about team fights that are lasting 20, 30 seconds, because if they don't, Nullstone will just overrun them because they've got the superior sort of durability, Breaky.
Now, yeah, so it's like, how do you draft here if you're Sync around that? Is there something you can
hard carry.
So just absolute hard carry that's going to get crazy farm and eventually take over? I mean,
yeah, definitely, because we saw in the last series, obviously, with Nullstone Gaming, they didn't have this sort of tanky lineup. They had, obviously, the Dark Lady. And Tree, they didn't run the sort of team fight. They had ways of sort of trying to kill Nullstone Gaming and kill Dark Lady. But, I mean, honestly, with this Zinc lineup, sorry.
You're trying. I like it. That's good.
I'm trying. I apologize, mate. But again, Rally though, like one of these bursty ultis that again, oh yeah, it does a lot of damage, 900 physical damage, but when it gets into the late game, like these heroes are going to have 4,000 HP, and that's going to be like only 1/4 of the HP, and it's just not going to be enough, honestly, Breaky. So, yeah, the best way is sort of have the hard game carry, because the hard game carry can go toe to toe with Oogie, picks up the symbol of rage, can right click, and it will win that right click battle. Excuse me, because of the the high agility base armor, and has the damage to really cut through in terms of a sustained DPS. And Rally is not a sustained DPS, Pyromancer is not a sustained DPS, and neither is Magnus. The only one person that is sort of sustained is that Doctor Repulsor, but even he doesn't do that. He's not really the scary right-click carry.
Yeah.
And I mean, Keeper, another tanky presence breaky, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised to say this, but I think Nullstone have a good draft in this bag. Obviously, Sync have a great sort of team fight heroes in terms of the mid game, like 20, 25 minutes in, they can take a big advantage. But if it goes past that breaky, I'm a little bit worried for Sync, honestly.
Yeah. Here we go with the rally pickup here again. That's going to be intriguing to me, but also the dual support on top of that. Yeah, Zlap not going to be playing the jungle. He's been playing a lot of jungle as of recently, especially. But sure enough, they're going to be the ones running a dual support here against what is very likely going to be a jungle keeper of the forest over here on the Legion side, of course, being played by What You Got. So it's kind of a flip flop here. We've made points that Sync against a dual support lineup, they are undefeated. Now this is kind of a flip flop in that sense. Obviously, now they're the ones with dual support, so we'll see how that works out for them.
I think the reason why they've picked up the dual support though is that I think they almost realised that, guys, we can't really take this late because we have all these heroes that don't really scale well into the late game. They're going to try and pick up the dual support, trying to get the early rotations, trying to get the early roam, and take that advantage in the mid game. Because, like I said, these tanky heroes will definitely outlast you if it gets into the late game. The one thing that they do have that is sort of their weakness is sort of the early to mid game. They're not great laners in that respect, and they don't have the greatest mobility. If they're running against a dual support lineup that can easily roam early on and take that early game advantage, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 gold, then they could easily win it, before 30 minutes, and that's, I think, honestly, why they've picked up the secondary support. If they picked up a Tempest here, then they'd be sort of more focused on sort of farming, and that's something they don't want to do, honestly. They want to find their timing in the mid game, and the secondary support can offer them, obviously, a help in the early game breaky. So I think that's the reason why we're going to see it, honestly.
Again, so here we are. This is game number 1. Technically, yes, it's a 1-0 lead. We always go through this. Obviously, a 1-0 lead for Sync Esports, being a best out of 5 coming from the winter bracket finals. Now, so this is the first time we've had this, at least in a very long time. I have to think back to Team USA making the finals, but really an American team making the finals here. In this case, Nullstone Gaming, and that's something to think about as well, especially with this getting started a bit later. Hell, we're in post the default time, and when the grand finals are supposed to get started in. So if you're Nullstone here, the idea is, I'm not saying that that's going to be ultimately on their mind 100%, but if games perhaps take a little bit longer, and this is a team as of late, especially we've been seeing that could work to their favor because it's going to start to get early morning for Sync Esports. And now I know these are all gamers in the end, and that only means so much, but still.
I think it's a point to make, Breaky.
It's something to keep in mind here. So, what is it right now? It's, I guess, 10:30 over there, 22:30 even.
Yeah,
European time. So.
Yeah. Well, it's like 9:30 for me here, so yeah, it'd be about 10:30.
I mean, that's already getting pretty late. We're just getting started here with the grand final, so.
Best of 5 as well, obviously.
And
so,
best of 5, yeah. We'll see.
Exactly. I think it's definitely a point to note, Breaky. Regardless of if you're gamers or not, you have to have that increased mental stability. Are they gonna do a level 1 Conquer? Nah.
I thought about that as here's the thing. They've been getting a lot of crap lately for not checking Conquer, and they need to check Conquer. Wouldn't it be something if they do it themselves? No, they're not.
I mean, they're against a Keeper of the Forest as well, and obviously any hero can scout Congo, but the little animated trees are really, really useful against scouting that, of course. So they're going to get spotted here, and maybe they're going to do a tri lane actually, and again, really focusing on the early game aggression, perhaps. So they might even go aggressive tri lane with the Rally or the Magnus, perhaps, but. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
One thing's for certain, though, is that these two supports, or these dual supports, will have to have an impact early on in the game. Whether it is in terms of shutting down these other Nullstone heroes in the laning phase, or get those early rotations in terms of ganks, then, obviously, it's worthwhile in not running a jungler. But we're going to see looks like an aggressive dual lane actually here with Rally and Engineer. Rally a great actually aggressive dual laner because not only can you sort of save yourself if your positioning is bad, you can save obviously your partners as well. So very useful in that respect. Sort of it allows both of these heroes to suicide because of that escape mechanism on both teams.
Something else that's kind of hitting me too, as far as Nullstone goes. Even earlier today, the 3-game series, we never saw them running an aggressive dual pseudo tri-lane kind of strategy. Early, and we were stressing that yesterday, especially. It seems like as of late, really, this team loves to do that. But they're keeping. I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe they watched the Cats were just talking about that, and they were like, you know what, they're right. But no,
they did foul.
Yeah.
They did foul pretty hard when they tried to do the aggressive try.
Yeah, so maybe they just kind of figured to themselves that okay, it's just not working out here. Okay, you see right here, he's actually gonna pull that creep wave. Obviously, you got Keeper or Rally more so. Doing his thing over here. Oh, did he mess it up? Yep. He missed it right there. But Engineer's like, I got you. Don't worry. I got your back.
Still, yeah, it should be fun, actually.
This is always fun, just seeing them kite around.
I think you should go back to their own creep wave. Don't put it to yeah, good call. Well played, come out from Boobanger. I mean, yeah, they lost sort of lane positioning, but you can't give... What's he doing? He needs to bring the creep waves back up there.
He's going to bring it back here, yeah.
But he's going to miss all... Look at all this lane creeps he's going to miss.
True, yeah. He could have brought it all the way up there. That's fair.
Really bad call. Really disagree. I mean, obviously he's going to deny this creep wave as well, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. Oh well, not the biggest of things, I guess. One thing's for certain, obviously, Zing most likely going to keep this lane control, which is very, very important, obviously, in a dual lane. So, oh no, they're actually going to lose it. So, okay, not too bad, I guess.
Wow. Sorry. Look at that stat right there. This is the only second game. They've played 48 matches on record here as far as 100 Season 3 goes. And they've only ran a non-jungler now twice, including this game. So,
and one they lost. So.
And the one they lost, yeah, against BMG in the Cycle 1 Grand Finals, even, yeah. So that's that tells you something, man. I mean, the fact that they're doing it right off the bat too, I find very curious. But again, they have a plan. Yeah, we do see Fuzzyslot top lane. There's a pull in from Doctor. A couple more auto attacks. No, the power supply or mana battery coming through, and that will be fine. Yeah, big plays with that mana battery.
But yeah, because I mean, the reason why normally a dual support is just so weird is that obviously you have to have an advantage with a secondary support, and it's very, very hard to do that in terms of lane just because of how Hon's set out. So it's always preferable in terms of jungle, and as we're sort of seeing it here as well, Sync have obviously instantly took kind of a sort of an experience deficit already. Only 500, of course, but still something to be mentioned, of course. So. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they have blocked, obviously, the jungle coming from Keeper, so they're going to reduce his impact eventually, but they're only rev wards, so they are going to be stopped in the next couple of minutes. So.
Yeah, of course, not lasting nearly as long, so keep an eye on he's able to take advantage of that. You got Creep Farm so far, 10-2 Oogie versus a 8-1 Rally, so pretty back and forth down here. So far, no really kill attempts coming out. You'd figure, if anything, Rally and Engineer would have the good chance. In fact, as they say that, there we go. There's the go-in. The Keg's going to follow. Oogie's going to hold his ground, though. Tarpit comes out, and yeah, he's going to be more than fine in the end. He's running low on regen, but Rhapsody does have some backup there, if need be. So let's see if doing some sharing here. You look at the middle lane, Kraken. He's definitely being boxed out, as you'd expect. And Sania playing that Pyromancer, playing a lot lately. We keep stressing. And no different here. Yes, he is the captain, too. He made a point of that going into Cycle 5. They kind of made that change up there for whatever reason, and he stepped in as the new drafter for the team. So he's been doing that throughout the cycle. And safe to say it's been working out pretty well so far. See if that continues or not. Yeah, a little bit of bitterness there, maybe. No. Doctor 16-3 here at the top lane against Electrician, who's 10-1. So Fuzzyslot, he's trying. He's gotten some good experience overall, but
Doctor will win that matchup.
Will win that, yeah.
Yeah, and another reason why normally if they run a secondary support, they have to make sure the short lane goes well, because if they don't make if the short lane doesn't go well in terms of 1v1 matchups, then they're really only winning the mid lane, and for running a dual support, it's just not efficient. So it's very important why they picked obviously a range hero to sort of dominate the short lane, which he is and as he should, honestly. So another reason why they picked up Doctor here, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my God! And here comes the spam. I do apologize, guys. I just fixed the overlay. Oh boy, it's gonna be just all in chat. Here, 1 second. I fixed it. Will be good in 5 minutes. There we go. My bad. My bad. So I'm paying attention here. 4.5 minutes in. Obviously, still no Bloodlust kill just yet. You got Pyromancer off to the side here, but Not going to be able to make much of that. As far as rear control goes, double damage rune is on Magnus. You got Kraken, though. He's sitting really far back here. He doesn't have a Tsunami charge just yet with the mana, at least. It's coming up, but he doesn't have it just yet, so he's going to be making sure not to get caught out by, especially with that double damage Magnus there. Top or bottom lane even, Oogie. That's a good pressure on him. He's going to be fine, though. Again, the tar pit's enough of a slow right there.
So tanky. Rapsy rotate. Oh, she might be in trouble, actually. Oh, my God. Mad battery.
Uh-oh. Grants, you're dead. Maybe? Yes. Yeah, I mean, the intentions were great, but there was no reason, absolutely no reason for him to go in the end.
It's just a little bit of a misplay, or outplay, actually, from the side of Sync.
Yeah.
Honestly. Well, honestly, it's a little bit frustrating, honestly, for Nullstone, because, like, as long as the game is passive for the next, they're going to be ahead, because obviously they're running the jungler against the non-jungle strategy, and they have to play passive. Like, honestly, I mean, yeah, they might lose a couple of creep kills here and there, but they're going to make up for it with the jungler. The only thing that is going to make Sync get back into the game would be if they give away these kills, and giving away kind of a silly death is just a little bit frustrating, obviously, to sort of see. But
oh, top lane, Fuzzy Sloth. Oh my God, he might actually get a kill right here. I'm pretty sure Doctor's going to pop the health potion. He will survive. That was close, though. He got very, very low. So we saw earlier Fuzzy Sloth was in trouble himself, but he's showing Flensmeister. He's here to play, and here they get to kill himself. That could have been huge for Nullstone, but it doesn't happen. So
it actually works more in favour of Dr. Repulsor, though, because now Electrician has to sort of leave the lane because he has no regen, whereas the health pot was still held on for Dr. Repulsor, so he can sort of sit in this lane for the next minute until Electrician comes back. So Flensmeister's definitely getting the better end of that deal right there.
Yeah. Back to the bottom lane. I mean, look at the GPM charts overall. You got a really big lead so far for Sync Esports, and Mickey is actually, holy crap. I mean, I think he might be near perfect, if not perfect here. 45 and 13. That's 6.5 minutes. It's got to be up there, and that's showing on the GPM side of things. 378 gold per minute and counting. That's a 0 hero kills and 0 assists. So yeah, doing a very, very good job of making sure to get every single one of those last hits. Pyromans are going to roam a little bit here in the meantime and see what's up as Kraken runs by. But yeah, they see Kraken as a result of that. That's unfortunate. Granted, there's a reward of sight here, so would have ran into that anyway. So Kraken trying to get involved now, being level 6, but
he shouldn't, though. He's not one of those heroes that can really come in and start roaming. If he was like a Bubbles, then yeah, sure, but he can only be involved if he has a portal key, and obviously he doesn't have one of those yet. So
yeah,
and they don't have the greatest stun or initiation outside of Rhapsody's stun, and that's not going to land when they've got obviously Rally on the board. So yeah, a little bit of wasted time, I guess, but not the biggest.
Top lane, Magnus. Yep, he's coming in. He pops the Electric Shield knowing that there is going to be initiation. Maybe go for a turn kill. If anything, not going to happen. Eruption comes out, and down goes Electrician. So he tried his best, but great lockdown coming out there by Sync Esports. And speaking of roam, well, Magnus does it, and it works.
And Magnus can start roaming because obviously the Lava Surge is a lot easier to hit than the charge from Kraken, and also the Eruption is a lot more easier to hit than the Kraken ultimate. So you see the differences between these sort of mid heroes and why each one has been more effective in terms of their ganks. But Keeper is level 6 though now, but I don't know if they're going to have the burst to kill Rally.
There we go. Root comes out. I mean, are they? It's going to be close.
Oh,
yes, they do. Just enough right there. I mean, even if he did get away, maybe a tar pit could have hit still, but yeah, good commitment and making a kill happen. So finally, Nullstone Gaming gets on the board, and here comes it. It's going to transition nicely, actually, to a pretty good push right here. As Keeper spawns those minions and pushing out the lane now. You see Oogie using that Tarquake of his. I keep calling Tar Pit, don't I? Tarquake, anyways.
They have decent counter push though with Engineer and Pyromancer, and obviously Rally's going to come back in, so
yeah,
that thing will be stopped. But I mean, to be fair, the Golden Experience lead, the only reason why this is so far ahead is because obviously Flensmeister is dominating Electrician in the top lane. If Electrician was actually sort of even in this lane, then he'd be doing fine, and the running the jungler would be a lot more beneficial in terms of Golden Experience. It's just because Flensmeister is doing so well against Electrician, while this Golden Experience is actually kind of skewed in that respect.
Yeah. 9 minutes into the game right now. And a 2-1 hero kill lead, obviously, for Sync Esports. Not going to dive right here. Kraken does he have Blazing Strike? He doesn't actually. Yeah, he has a Mystic Vestments. I don't know if Sync really expected a kill to happen there now, but maybe they're just doing it for harassment, as really not much return happens. So in the end, going to be fine, and pops a health potion.
Oh, what? Rally just used ulti on these neutral groups, though.
Did he really? Yeah, they want to clear this out. There's a Keg stun, but now Oogie's here, and Rally's going to be in trouble. And definitely dead trouble right there. Yeah, not worth it. I obviously didn't get the beginning of that, but you're just saying that So he was just farming, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah. He used Compel and then into Seismic's land. So yeah, very very. But I keep getting whispered by the viewers saying, "Oh my God, Bricky, remove overlay, remove overlay."
Life of a delay, man.
Oh,
Life
man.
of the 6-minute delay. One day they'll learn. But yeah, actually do better. Make sure that happens.
The Compel though, yeah. I mean, I can understand honestly the Seismic's land, so you get the neutral creature. The Compel as well, very very risky though. Seeing as obviously they've got Keeper in the jungle as well, so. A little bit questionable there, and I think Sync should honestly be a little bit worried. Obviously, they don't have the jungle factor, but Insania is rotating over though.
Yep, and that's a dead electrician. I keep thinking Insania's going to be having that ultimate, but he doesn't. But it's still enough. I mean,
Still useful, yeah.
The nukes alone is.
And this is what they need to do though, because obviously, like Keeper, he can only really gank every single. What is it? The cooldown is 100 minutes. So every 2 minutes, Keeper can gank. Whereas, like Pyromancer and Engineer, they can gank whenever they want because obviously they only use their spells, not their ultimates in that respect. So that's the one advantage they have over the Keeper, and it's good to see obviously Insania is rotating over because if they sort of just AFK farmed lane, then obviously Keeper would come out ahead. But he does have his root off cooldown though, and I think Sync have. Some idea what's going on.
Yeah, they're going to fall back. He gets exposed right there, so back to farming. He is going to go. So, I mean, if you are Sync, does there ever get to a point where you might want to be a little careful about coming back here to the bottom line? I mean, I guess for the time being, it's still fine by all means, but...
Yeah, I mean, normally I'd say, like I think I mentioned before on cast, whenever you get like level 6, level 7 on the enemy heroes, it's very, very risky to run an aggressive dual lane. But when they've got Rally on the board, it gives them a lot more freedom because of that Compel. Yeah. Obviously, they're going against Keeper as well, but it's not like, Nulls don't have like a mid Doctor Repulsor that can easily abuse and sort of exploit this aggressive positioning here from Sync. But mid lane, they're talking aggressive positioning.
Again, he's so tanky though. Mystic Vestment's coming to play right there. Magnus has a stun in 2 more seconds. Release the Kraken, comes out, going for their turn kill. Will it be enough? No, it will not. Magnus is going to be fine. No TP support. Electrician coming to the bottom lane, but he's spotted. So yeah, 4 players being down here for Nullstone Gaming. And they aren't going to get anything out of it. So Sync, very good exchange on their part. And actually, they're going for a kill now themselves. Pyromancer is level 6, but they are going to react in time is Nullstone. So both teams really want to be involved down here.
Yeah, really great lane ward actually from Trent's here. He hasn't put it far enough into the lane, sort of give them a lot of vision, but it just just gives him enough to sort of secure the position and sort of the lane for Oogie, but obviously far enough away so it can't get counted. Actually, bottom lane though, Rally.
There's the jump. Is a lockdown real enough? Out comes the Compel as you would expect. There's a slow though. Nice job dodging the Kexon as well, and the Tarquakes are real. Enough damage coming out right there. Root misused, but that was way too early right there. And now given the force, he's in trouble. The burst damage comes out and down. He falls. Kraken now running in. The charge comes out. He does not have a release of Kraken though. Protecting Melody in the background. Stopped immediately. Beautiful kick down from Slapped right there. And it's back and forth, back and forth. Magnus does back in. Beautiful combo coming out from St. K Sports. And they are going to come out on top big time right here. Electrician, the only survivor after that crazy fight. So ultimately a 1-for-4 exchange. That just went back and forth. But yeah, that route, that was a big miscue there.
Yeah, but even sort of engaging in these early team fights, so like this is exactly what Sync want to do though. They've got these 2 aggressive dual supports that are actually very, very farmed and leveled, quite surprisingly, honestly. But regardless of that, level 7 Pyromancer and level 7 Engineer is 10 times more important than a level 9 Keeper, because obviously Keeper at this stage of the game only offers his root. He doesn't have his Astrolabe, so his farming effectiveness isn't really that effective, until the level 50 minutes into the game or 20 minutes into the game. And these early engagements are just so much more impactful because they've got a dual support here from Sync, sorry, And yeah, Nullstone Gaming are sort of playing into the hand of Sync. They need to sort of sit back and farm. They've got the better farming potential because they've got the jungle factor, and they're just not really respecting the dual support lineup from Sync.
Look at that right there. So Resync Gaming winning Gold Cycle. Congratulations to them. Going to see them back here in Diamond next cycle. You got Prime Icarus also going to be joining once again. They were the team that they beat, but both teams, of course, qualifying for it nonetheless. Night Raid and Dawn, the 2 teams that are actually bounced down to gold, remember, here from Cycle 5. So that's going to be interesting. Okay. Anyways, here we go. Magnus Eruption comes out. Oogie, he's in trouble now. Can he get the team support in time? No, he cannot. And Keeper Root, it wasn't even up right there. So yeah, they cannot commit to a fight. Good find by Sync, and it's not over just yet. Dr. Pulsar Electric Turret goes down. He's going to go in with that ludicrous speed. The static grip comes out, though. I don't think they got damage. In fact, yeah, this is big time. And you see the backfire. Root finally comes out, but the lockdown is way too much. Kraken gets a charge, and it's a cleanup for Sync Esports. Hat-trick comes out. That's a genocide, and this start is looking extra nice.
This is exactly what I was talking about, Breaky, before. Like I was saying, the dual support lineups, this is exactly what they want. They want these early engagements because at the moment they're stronger than Keeper. You know, around the 20-minute mark, obviously Keeper's going to be a lot more effective than an under-level support, but as long as these early engagements are happening, the levels are getting, the supports are getting their levels, and they're being utilised and effective because, you know, this is exactly where they thrive. Yeah, Nullstone, like, they need to really respect the dual support lineup because, okay, yes, maybe they're not very familiar in terms of how to play or how to fight against them because, you know, we barely ever see a dual support lineup. But, you know, Sync, even though they don't play it themselves, they know how to play it because, you know, they are probably the best team in the world right now. They know exactly, you know, how to play it and they're executing it perfectly, Breaky. But yeah. Nullstone, really, like, they should really respect it more because at the moment they are losing to it.
Oh yeah, not only losing, but frankly getting dominated by it. Here we are 15.5 minutes in. It's 10,000 goalie, 10,000 experience lead, more so 9,000 experience lead, but still, the point being, it is up there in favor of Sync Esports. Top tower push. This is going to be an easy tower kill. I don't see any chance of Nullstone defending. Maybe go for a counter push elsewhere. Perhaps middle lane. It doesn't even look like that's going to happen, though. So the charts just tell a big story right here. You got Magnus and Doctor way up there, the 400-plus GPM. And then nobody on the Legion side is even over 275 goal per minute, let alone 300. So right now, they have 50 minutes. So that is really interesting. I really would not have expected that, honestly. That is so crazy, because Oogie just seems like a snowball early game. I'm going to take over by mid-game and win hero. But apparently, let's go to the stats. He's 0-5 if the game finishes prior 30 minutes. Post 30 minutes, he's 6-0, so...
Yeah, and also, like, what are Sync gonna do, like, past 30 minutes? Like, what, an Engineer's gonna do nothing because they're gonna pick up Shrunken Heads, or Kraken as well.
Kraken does get caught, and Seismic Sand plays the extract. Why not use it all, baby? And that they do, and an easy kill on a Kraken. Now keep it the Forest. He is on the run. He's got a route if he does get engaged on. I don't think they want to fight this, though, clearly. And Sync's gonna be like, you don't have a choice, damn it. In fact, they're gonna catch Electrician as well. They get both! They get the 2-for-1 deal right there. And both Electrician and Keeper the Forest fall. I think Nullstone's probably thinking about next game at this point. Yeah, Rhapsody, why not? Make it a 3-for-1 special. And down goes Rhapsody. So the pain train is real. Everyone, all the subs right now should be typing out the SGCHOO here in chat because it's exactly what we're seeing earlier, the pain train here.
Yeah, like, and like, when you run a dual support lineup, there's obviously advantages and disadvantages to it. Probably more advantages than there are disadvantages, and that's obviously why we see a lot more junglers. But one thing is for certain, obviously, like I said before in the draft, they have the better early engagements because obviously their spells are just a lot more useful. They don't scale well into the game, so therefore it means they're a lot more useful in the early game lineup. And yeah, I mean, really though, like Nullstone, they just simply couldn't play passive enough. They try to play as if they were playing against a jungle lineup, you know, get aggressive, because that's the ones that make a difference in jungle versus jungle lineup, but they're not playing against jungle lineup, and honestly I think them not playing against a dual support lineup very often is really hampering their chances here, Reiki.
And it may be. Icon of the God is finished on Doctor, and he also picks up an Arcane on top of that, so already focusing on now finishing a Hellflower here. I mean, yeah, his GPM showing that 460, but even Mickey continues to lead the way at nearly 470 goal per minute. It's the Mickey factor. We talked about that yesterday, I think it was, where he's got that the new man on the block of the Mickey factor. You stop him, actually, and gives yourselves a pretty good chance against Sync. But if you let him go, if he has a good time, then you are not beating Sync Esports. It's simply what that comes down to. Although he misses a stun right there.
I'm pretty sure Paramount's have got every single one of these last detonations, by the way.
That's
I'm not even kidding. Like, he got all of them. I mean, he does pick up his Astrolabe, though, so still being useful.
Hey, he needs his farm too.
Exactly. Like, no, like, if you're running a dual support lineup, you need to get farm elsewhere, because obviously you can't simply farm the jungle by yourself. So, but I mean, still though, obviously Nullstone they're incredibly far behind because of obviously the early pressure that Zinc have actually put onto the Nullstone gaming. But the fact of the matter is, there's no way that Sync can really address, you know, this Nullstone gaming team if it goes into the late game, because I mean, like, if Oogie picks up a Shrunken Head, if Electrician picks up a Shrunken Head, and so does Kraken, then Engineer, Pyromancer, Magnus, and even Dr. Pulse are going to be kind of useless. Even Rally to an extent, obviously he's got his Silence Clan, but they've just got nothing to really address him in the late game because they're very early to mid game sort of style of team. So if there's any way that Nullstone can still have a chance in this, is to delay the game and obviously try and pick up these shrunken heads, because they're going to be very useful and effective in this team fights. But there's like 15,000 gold behind, and like Sync, they're not going to obviously let off the pressure because they know the timing of their draft, because they drafted it. So as you can see, they're pushing the tier 2 here. I mean, they don't have the greatest pushing potential because they don't have a jungler, but at the same time, Nullstone Gaming, they don't have the greatest sort of counter push, so they will be able to take this tower quite easily though. So
that is the idea right here. All 5 are here, and you can see Nullstone on the minimap not interested at all at defending this tower. So this is going to be a free tower kill for Sync. We'll see where they rotate from here, perhaps to the top lane. You got Electrician up here. He falls back though before he gets caught. But there you go with the tower kill, and Sync possibly just going to clean up. Oh, maybe not. Magnus says he wants to go in, but the team wasn't really on the same page necessarily, and so he falls back anyways.
Yeah, I mean, Nullstone couldn't really capitalize on that because they don't have Kraken portal key. If they did, then that would have been a quite crazy move coming out from Magnus. But
yeah,
still, they're fine. I mean, they're going to take all the outer tier 2s though, because Nullstone just simply are so far behind. They can't take team fights, and Engineer level 11 and Pyromancer level 11 are so scary compared to level 10 Keeper. So yeah, they're going to try and dodge as much as possible. I mean, Sync are really going to have a little bit of actually issues pushing up to high ground though, because although I mean they can take tier 2s quite easily, and they have the great team fight, they don't have the greatest push, as we mentioned before. So just pushing high ground is going to be a little bit of an issue, particularly if Keeper's there.
Kraken, heals bound, just wanted to get a little bit of farm. The auto attacks are going to be enough. So the Seismic Slam, he canceled it, figuring that it was, and sure enough, he was correct. So might as well save that. Both the mana and the cooldown, of course. So they get the top tower in the meantime, and yeah, I guess that's if anything why we're not seeing a concede necessarily just yet for Nullstone Gaming. Mix it when it comes to the mid to late game. That's where they can definitely shine. And compared to Sync, especially more about the early game. Electrician, at the bottom lane watching it while it's happening. He does have support coming in from, looks like Oogie. If he can hold him off long enough, actually. Here we go with Oogie. Primal Surge is up, but actually Electrician is eventually going to be beat down and stunts too much. And Oogie's like, I kind of helped, but not much more he could have done at that point. But yeah, as I was getting at, it's just... Also, I kind of feel like Nullstone's had a couple of these games recently where they do get behind earlier on. And I think even in the game 2 against Sync, they were actually behind by quite a bit. And up until the point they won the actual game, they were basically down the whole game. So that's kind of in the back of their head, I'm sure, too, of like, you know what, let's just still hang in there because anything can happen, as we've seen already. That's what they're doing here. So, I mean, Icon just finished on Oogie. He's
man, it's all possible. Like, if they team fight, like, they're back in this game. And so it's kind of scary on the part of Sync that, if they do throw a team fight, however unlikely it's going to be, that they will be in a little bit of bad situations, and they do still have a timer on this sort of game, because as you mentioned before, they got no way to really address Nullstone late game.
Yeah. Rally right there. He actually stunts and Portuguese away though before he gets caught. By the way, it looks like he is going for that staff of the Mastered. That's one of those staffs you may not think initially, it's being a newer one especially, but it is really powerful on him, honestly, yeah. But we do see it, it's like, why isn't that picked up more? Now, this hero in general really not picked up a whole lot nowadays.
We don't see him.
He is going to be picked up here, and it looks like we are going to see that staff, sure enough. By the way, Conga obviously happening. Doctor, sure enough, picks up the token. Not surprising to see there on top of the Hellfire and the icon of the Goddess that he currently has. And 3,800 gold saved up on Mickey again. He just continues 4-0-10, as well as having, what is that, 126 creep kills. So, yeah, he's really farming like a boss. He's in an interesting spot here. Now, he might be in trouble, actually, if he tries to make something happen at this top lane. Electrician nearby.
Only level 1
him, but yeah, can't really go, though.
But yeah, just going back to the golden experience, like, obviously, yeah, Sync, they're in a great position. But, I mean, if you compare, like, if they had a similar draft or a similar strategy, then, yeah, obviously, this game would be completely over. But as they have this early mid-game lineup, they're meant to be ahead. So if they're not, then they're kind of losing, if that makes any sense. So I think Nelson are definitely wanting to sort of stay back into this game, honestly, because one good team fight, all it takes to sort of get back into this game.
Absolutely. And we know the power of Oogie, especially in the hands of Beaverbanger. He's clearly made a point that it's scary to go up against. And, you know, I was even seeing, I think I even saw it in chat, like, where Sync was even saying that they were planning to ban Oogie, but clearly that was more of a deceptive to kind of keep Nullstone Gaming guessing that they had an idea as far as how to address it. They weren't ultimately worried about it. So, and hey, it is working absolutely so far here, game number 1. So yeah, props to them for thinking about it and realizing, hey, this is a way that we can address with it, and sure enough.
Yeah, like normally there's kind of 2 ways to address it. Either you beat it early, which they're doing now, or they go like super late game with like hard carries. And, I mean, Oogie, not the greatest of early game, particularly with this other draft as well. Like Electrician, Crack, and Keeper doesn't offer anything really early game. Whereas compared to like Engineer, Primarchs, they offer everything. So, and they are pushing on to tier 3s though. With obviously this open on Dr. Repulsor, it's going to be hard to kill him once, let alone twice. Yep. But they're going to try.
Portal key on Kraken. That's definitely a positive here.
Yep.
For Nullstone and giving them a shot to perhaps try to defend this. So yeah, it's one of those very, very tough cases, but at the same time, you don't want to just 100% give up your racks here, especially this early on in the game. Magnus, he's in a good spot here. He is ready to counter-initiate or even initiate if he finds the opening. Look at Nullstone, they're playing it very patient. Here we go, Kraken misses the charge. Unfortunately, Magnus counters. Don't dive too much, though, if you're sinking. It's supposed to use pretty good at not doing that. Dr. Pulsar is going to be locked down. The Compel comes out to the blazing fight, goes on a Kraken, gets the kill. Protected Melody, Root comes out as well. And Dr. Pulsar gets cut. No, he's still flying around. The Uridenny's trying to line it up. He finally does. And Rhapsody does well. There's the Magnus eruption. So Oogie, he is still alive. Doctor's still alive as well, however. And that should do it. So they gave it an A+ effort, but
GG.
The end result, those tablets apparently makes a big play. That on top of the Compel. So GG, well played. Game 1 does go to sync, and that means now they're up 2-0 here in this best set of 5. So on the verge of trying to sweep this series. So Nullstone, the Oogie, maybe not going to work anymore, at least so far.
No, I mean, to be fair, I think Oogie is a great hero next to work. I just think perhaps they got a little bit too greedy, maybe with like the Keeper, maybe the Electrician. Like, imagine if they had like Pharaoh instead of the Electrician. Maybe the Pharaoh would have been able to sort of open up space, particularly more on the board. Even the Kraken per se is a little bit greedy, particularly of what sync they've got in terms of their draft. But still, they had a strategy in mind. They had a draft, and they tried to play to it. But in the end, Sync had a bit of a better draft and strategy and executed it even better. So. Looking forward to the next game break here.
That they did, and I am as well, as I'm sure the viewers are as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep this going here. I know it's going to get later on, so let's take a short break, but we'll be back. We got Sync versus Nullstone Gaming. Sync is going to be up 2-0 here in this best of the 5. So can Nullstone, just one game at a time. So they need to win 3 in a row, ultimately, sure, but hey, one game at a time. It starts with this next one. We'll see what they can make happen. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Game 2 coming up next year. Grand Final, Cycle 5. All right, welcome back. As you can see, the players move things along as well. Want to get things going here, so we got game number 2 coming at you. Sync versus Nullstone Gaming here. Again, Nullstone on the verge of finishing second. valiant effort here, especially in that first game. But again, Sync clearly coming in prepared, figuring that they would possibly even be matched up against the Oogie again. And this time they dealt with it just very, very well. And overall, obviously, looking pretty good. So here we are moving along.
Bands.
What's up with the bands? Oh, yeah, wow.
Bloodhunter, okay.
Bloodhunter and Oogie. That is interesting. That's...
I think it's because Sync, like, they had this kind of pocket strategy to sort of beat Oogie and sort of the heavy tank sort of thing, to beat him in lanes. Beat him early mid-game before they can really hit their stride. And I think in Game 2 or Draft 2 we will see a little bit different strategy from Sync. And obviously they picked up the Parasite. So yeah, they're not going to run the dual support. And instead of giving Nullstone the opportunity to say, hey guys, this is where we went wrong, let's try and change it if Zinc do it again. Instead, Zinc like, yeah, we're not even going to do that same draft, so it doesn't even matter. Yeah. We're going to ban at Oogie, ban at Bloodhunter. We don't want to face it because we're going to try a different strategy and beat you. And
that makes sense.
A good play coming out from Insania, honestly. So, because the worst thing you could do, particularly in a best of 5 series, is give your opponent the opportunity sort of to learn from the last game. If you change up your draft, change up your strategy, then there's no way they can read you or sort of play better in the next game. So, I do like the strategy from Insania.
Yeah, Slap's going to get his signature Parasite once again as a result, so he'll be happy with that. Now, they did pick up Tempest here on Nullstone Gaming side and kind of response themselves as well. We'll once again be running that jungle option, and the initial draft here on either side, nothing too crazy. Pyromancer in the hands of Nullstone. We'll see what Insania gets for himself. Obviously, no support picked up there just yet at this point, unless they main supported Magnus or something like that. But yeah, probably not going to be the case. I'm sure they're going to go with something else. In fact, you look at the bans happening now to follow. Somewhat support heavy, at least coming out from Nullstone. You got overall Bubbles, Engineer, Wretched Hag, Rhapsody, and Gemini coming out here. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like Glacius or Empath even on top of that. So Empath taken out, and now back over to Sync Esports for what they're going to go. Maybe this is the time we see. Well, there's the Valkyrie for one. Mentioned that case, Suicide Valkyrie. It's something that they're kind of picking up on themselves. But is this the Artesia? The Artesia support? No, it's probably not. I want to see the Moira support again, to be fair. I know we did. We actually saw him play that a couple cycles ago.
I think we saw it from Zinc, but it was against Dr. Repulsor, I think.
That's true. Maybe there's not as much reason here, but
yeah, you want to pick up when you can really utilize Moira's full abilities. You don't want to just pick up randomly, because if you're going to pick up randomly, then other supports can do
honestly,
a better job.
I understand that. Yeah, she's going to get stuff, but her skill set's really strong, and I think we did say that kind of. The ability to press that E button, the ephemeral forge, and pour it around the map and set up some ganks is pretty strong. So
yeah, it's decent, I guess. It offers you an ability to sort of gank without having the risk of taking the gank.
Yeah.
But I mean, in team fights, the ultis can be good, can sort of screw you up, and it's a very niche hero, and I think it's a good hero, but only in certain circumstances, for heroes that are very mana dependent, like Dr. Repulsor, I guess.
Yeah.
But, because that ganking with the Ephemeral Forge is good and all, but in team fights, I'd rather have a Rhapsody or a Pyromancer. So, I don't know.
True. Looking at the board here, and you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Salamon. Just because I want another hero that we've never seen. I want to see that GPM farm.
You got to think about, obviously, what's Zinc's game plan and what's their draft and their heroes good or weak against. And I mean, Salamon, decent-ish, I guess. Obviously, he's got to be careful against the early rotation from Parasite. Team fight is there, obviously, from Zinc as well, obviously, with Magnus and Kraken. And he does decent in team fights, but they picked up Madman, so probably not going to see it. I think Berserker actually could have been a decent game here as well. Even if... What?
I love it. Is that a Thunderbringer support or is it a Valkyrie support? What are we seeing here?
Support Mag.
I love it.
I
was joking when I said support Magnus, but actually it might just be that.
Yeah. Is it Magnus support or Magnus?
I love it. This is yet another hero that we're gonna see.
It's really strong in Dota, actually. I know they're saying it in chat, but it's really strong.
I mean, there's the comparisons there, but
oh
yeah, that just happened. And everything is just really awesome now. So I'll say this. Clearly, I think it's safe to say Sync's in a spot of they're up 2-0. They had a pretty good time in game number 1. They're probably feeling pretty good here. Now, if this was the final game of a series, I don't know if we'd be seeing this lineup by any means, but I think it's just fine seeing it here. Wait, no. Did they random that? No, they selected it. Wait.
Yeah, we're good, right?
No, apparently. Oh, that's rude. That's rude. Are they going to remake here? Because apparently they actually want a chipper, I guess. So he didn't random it, but
What?
they might be. We'll see if they remake here. Oh, a chipper,
no.
really? So they're going to do
Sucks.
a. I know, right? I mean, at least we're going to see Thunderbringer. To be fair, I mean, I guess that's good. That's good. We can't have it all. I mean, but.
I mean, to be fair, if they did go Berserker, they would have been a little bit in trouble in terms of lanes and early rotations. Like they had Madman, Berserker, and Tempest. Like it's a little greedy in terms of lanes, I guess. But seeing as they're going against a Parasite as well, they can't really be that useful in terms of any rotations. But I mean, Chip is obviously very, very good for those early rotations because those rockets are just insanely good early game. But I want to see Berserker, man.
Well, honestly, I'm happy with Thunderbringer. The one time I remember seeing Thunderbringer, who played it? It was BMG, right? It was a Limp. It was. Yep. Yeah, and it was he just flat out dominated with the hero. Yep. I mean, it was just not even close. So.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue with Thunderbringer is, like, where do you lane him? Like, and when BMG picked him up, it was back where the tri-lane meta was really, really strong. And you're going to have that 1v1 matchup, and that's where Thunderbringer really does excel at. In this game here, obviously, they're going to be jungle versus jungle. I'm not sure where it's going to be laned. Like, it might go short, which is obviously a decent time, because you're most likely going to be 1v1. It might go mid, though. I can't remember exactly who they had on the board, so... Yeah, I'll have to see. The one big issue
Mickey
with
was playing it. I mean, Mickey did ready up on it, so yeah.
That's true.
Assume that.
But it's just like the one issue with Thunderbringer is like, how do you lane him? Because he is kind of weak. But to be fair though, like we talk about, oh yeah, where do you lane him? Where do you lane him? He's like really weak and easy to gank. But like, unless you run a dual support, it's kind of hard to have the early rotations and early ganks. Do you know what I mean? Because like, if you run a jungler, your support is going to sort of AFK in the lane, and while the jungler AFKs in the jungle, kind of thing. Like, we only saw a lot of early rotations. That's because in the last game, obviously, they had dual support from Sync, so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's also with the Thunderbringer pickup here. It's, we talk about all the time how if we were to ever see a Thunderbringer pick up, he's kind of like a chipper. Speaking of that, obviously, we see over here in Nullstone where he's great against a very squishy, more so even against those tri-lane setups of dual support, because ideally they are going to be under-leveled. No, that's not the case here. As, of course, they are running the Tempest jungle. Now, this isn't the most meaty team with that said. I mean, they are a pretty squishy team still.
I think the biggest reason why BMG picked up, though, is because there's two reasons. Obviously, they could lane it was one thing, and also, secondly, they wanted to have impact in terms of the tri-lane. That's why they picked up Bombardier as well. The global ultimate, just to add the 200 or 300 damage, was the biggest factor in that. Because like that 200, 300 damage in terms of global factor can be the difference between you winning the tri-line and you losing it. And when you've got a tri versus tri, like if you lose a tri-line, you kind of lose the game. So it's really important that they had that extra global presence. But in this game, it's decent, obviously, because they can pair up with the Parasite ganks as well. Because Parasite normally, unless he goes Codex, he's going to have issues bursting like 1v1 in that respect. But with the Thunderbringer ult, he can be useful in that respect. So yeah some decent synergy, I guess, for Sync. But we're going to see a support Magnus then, I guess. Insane as on the
great.
Magnus.
I just love when that works out, where you just jokingly say something, then all of a sudden it actually happens here. A main support Magnus coming out. I did switch to the overlay, so there we go. We're good there. This is going to be, no matter even if it ends up being the ultimate victory, the fact that we're going to see Mickey playing the Thunderbringer, I know a lot of people are going to be excited for it, and I'm definitely one of them. So it's that is pretty fun. But
I think they're going to go aggressive tri-lane with the Magnus Valkyrie. Like, that's old school, man. Valk is pretty old school. I guess they could obviously have got the Parasite, but Parasite hasn't picked up the boots, so I assume not.
You see, gonna check Congo right here. It's I wouldn't put it past Nullstone not doing Congo. I mean, they could have, but
you Kong.
It's not actually happening.
They did say, like I was speaking to Zlaps earlier today on his stream. It's like, yeah, we will never ever get taken by level 1 Kong ever again.
That's what they always say, isn't it?
Even for the grand finals of Hontor, like in Thailand.
Here, where that's the last thing you're thinking about, and then all of a sudden it happens. Yeah, it's they can say that all they want, but to be fair, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's happened multiple times on the best teams in the world before. So it's I would. So
we are going to see an aggressive tri-lane then. But he hasn't picked up boots though, which might be a little bit of an issue. But he's going to pick up Blood Chalice from. Oh no, he's got Runes of the Blight, so he won't pick up instant Blood Chalice. Like sometimes when you go aggressive Parasite, you've got either the boots and mana pots or the instant Blood Chalice because you can buy the Scarab from the outpost. But decided against both of those builds actually, so interesting.
Thunderbringer mid. Oh, this is bringing back memories here, man. As far as that's
I mean,
concerned.
I think he'll do fine, honestly. Like normally, obviously, when you go 1v2, you want to have a hero that can sort of survive in terms of like the 1v2. That's why you normally see like Kraken. If you're going to see like a solo mid Kraken, it's going to be a tanky hero that can survive the ganks. But I mean, Pebbles, the stun is very very low, so they can't really like take advantage or exploit the weakness from Thunderbringer. And also, obviously, Thunderbringer's got that chain lightning, so he can easily get last hits from afar. Like, if this Pebbles was like Prisoner or Devourer, Thunderbringer would be in a lot of trouble, because if he gets hooked once, he's going to die. But I don't think, really, they can exploit or really try and address this Thunderbringer in the middle lane, because he's just going to get CS. Like, look at him, he's got like 6 CS already.
Well,
and again,
yeah, the 5 mana pushes to start. I mean, that on top of the Mark of the Novice, he's able to use that chain lightning very effectively.
And what can Pebbles and Pyromancer do? Pyromancer can't go toe to toe with him because he's going to get bursted down, so he can't out harass him. And Pebbles can't land the stun because obviously he doesn't have the level 6 yet. He doesn't have the range of the stun. So actually, this Thunderbringer middle actually is working quite well. So yeah, top lane though, Chipper.
Yeah,
It's not working out.
like, oh, Chipper dead. Yep, no boost Parasite doesn't freaking matter. The stuns happen. I didn't actually catch ultimately how it played out, but saw the end result. That's why the slot dying. Obviously, the stun's there. You kind of do the math and figure that's what happened. So, well played by Sync Esports right there and picking up the early Bloodlust kill. A short lane Chipper. Again, not much you can do, obviously, to try to escape right there. I was going to say, too, I'm also kind of intrigued to see how Thunderbringer decides to build here. Yeah, the passive will also constantly kick. He even got the passive at level 2, and that Lightning Rod, man, I mean, that adds up, especially over time. And he's spamming that chain lightning, so yeah, the harassment's definitely real here.
Does it on the nearby heroes as well, not on himself, so a lot better as well. But hey, look at that, plus 15 damage as well, so a lot useful. Look at that harassment, man.
Yeah.
Jeez, like, it's honestly a great pickup here. Like normally, like if it's against like a Devourer Prison, like I said before, he'd be in a lot of trouble, but he's getting like nearly the same CS as Pebbles, and it's 1v versus 2, so yeah. Sync really doing knowing their stuff, honestly.
Well, he seems like, honestly, he could have pretty good potential in general. It's in 1v2 against a non-hook hero. Now, if there's if this was a Devo,
exactly.
a Gauntlet, something like that, Prisoner, yeah, he would be in a lot of trouble. But, Pebbles Pyromancer, sure, it's dangerous, but he's got that distance, so.
If he was against a Magnus as well, he'd be in a little bit of trouble. But
True.
Pebbles has no way to sort of close the distance, so look at it, he's just getting the same CS as Pebbles. Like, I love seeing this innovation, though. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, there is the good logic there and making it work. So, maybe there's a mix of, sure, this, like I said, they're up 2-0 here. They're feeling pretty good in the series. Now, as we say that, Mickey overstepped his boundaries. That's what happens.
And that is easily, like, every time they hit a stun, either with Pyro or Pebbles, he's going to die because he's got no escape mechanism and he's quite squishy. But as long as Mickey is good on his positioning, which he wasn't there, I assume, he should be fine. But yeah, good kill count from Nullstone. They are ahead actually now. 1,000 experience. Gave away Bloodlust, but still. I guess, honestly, the Chipper and Thunderbringer are in very, very similar situations. Like, he can't really die too much because obviously he's getting CS with his rockets. The only thing is a little bit more awkward is that obviously mid lane is a lot more safer than this pushed out top lane. So, yes.
Yeah, look at the GPM charts, especially after that Bloodlust kill. Or not Bloodlust, but the kill nonetheless. Pebbles up there nearing the 400 gold per minute mark, so he's been doing a great job. Nice job by Thunderbringer right there, actually preventing the catapult kill, but still. Pebbles having overall the great time and definitely after the great start. He's got Bottle currently. He's going to get off to Pyroman, so I'm pretty sure he'll at least purchase boots as well. It's just a matter of getting it to him for the time being.
Tempest. Oh, my days.
Tempest running into a bad spot. Yes, he is. And actually, Pyromancer also caught now. No ultimate or anything like that. The arrow comes out. Nice job splitting, though. Thunderbringer comes in, however, and he's going to take advantage of the squishies right here. Gets the 1 kill. Pyromancer falls as well. We are going to see a team hat trick coming out. Pebbles, no chance for him. And Big Game finishes it off right there. Yeah, that's another power of Thunderbringer. That good old kill steal ability, but no, gets the kill. 4.5 minutes in, and all of a sudden a 4-2 hero kill lead for Sync Esports here.
Yeah, and just good rotations, honestly. And the support Magnus is honestly paying off. Like, he died, yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, if he was a core Magnus, it might be a little bit more impactful. But obviously, being a support Magnus, it doesn't matter if he, stuns it and dies, as long as he sets up the kills, which he did. So, good play come out from Insania as well. I mean, one lane we haven't really talked about too much is obviously Flensmeister and Madman going out in the bottom lane. Kraken having the more of the advantage, as to be expected. The splash is just too strong of an ability to face against it.
As to say that, you see Kraken did some good damage right there, but yeah, he's level 6 now, so Beaverbanger needs to be really careful. Yeah, Beaverbanger playing the long lane Madman. That's kind of just hitting me here, but sure enough, that's what we're seeing here. Fuzzy Sloth on the chipper. He is the one up top, of course, and look at just how boxing out, man. Casey's doing a great job. Middle lane, Parasite, no.
They got vision of Magnus, so they must realise it's more than just Magnus as well, but they're going to go in anyway, though.
There's the opening ulti. No, not enough for the kill. He actually mana battery right before. I don't know if that was the difference maker or not, but that was a good reaction on his part.
If Parasite was 6, that would have been killed. But
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, Chipper, you're dead. You're so dead.
And now Chipper at the top lane. Yeah, Magma stunts in. Of course, this is also the ultimate Thunderbringer, the damage that kicked in initially. So
he got an assist as well, actually.
Yeah, I stayed around that long. There you go. Well played by Sync Esports right there. So Chris, that's a powerful tool of Thunderbringer.
What can Tempest do? Like, he's not level 6, so he can't really rotate over. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Again, Sync just abusing the early game, and actually Madman. Oh, one more leech. Oh, he's got invis, so he should be fine then.
Just in time, gonna be good for now. Yeah, Pebbles, man, the start that he had was looking very good, exactly what Elstone was needing, but slowing down a little bit. Now he is 2-1-0 overall. Again, 340 gold per minute, still actually pretty solid here. But Sync making the kills happen, and we know with Sync especially, when they start getting that ball rolling, it's very difficult to stop. This is even though, they are running a Thunderbringer, this is still this is their style of lineup. They like to play very aggressive. The Parasite jungle here, they got Valkyrie even. Not your everyday hero for them, but she definitely speaks to that. We saw earlier today with Boxy, with power of the Valkyrie Prism, and actually boxing out Tempest right here. Did a good job of that. He's saying, Tempest, you're not going to get your own jungle. I'm going to actually take it from you.
Parasite and Magnus, look how deep they are.
They are, wow. Magnus, what are you doing? Oh, jeez. Magnus is in trouble. Yeah, Insania. A little bit too far. Nice dodge of the Dragonfire. And Conqueror? No.
Yeah, it's just hard to really capitalize and exploit this, honestly, because like I said, Tempest, he does have the ultimate here, but even that he has only boots. They're kind of hard to really get involved and trying to exploit and take advantage of that. But still, good play. And actually, Slap's coming in again. Oh my god, the damage from oh my god.
Ulti in 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Press that R. Press that R. He can't get it off in time. He dies. He dies, so well played right there. They get Thunderbringer Power Master. It does ultimately fall, though. Pebble's now in trouble. Now, Thunderbringer could buy back. I wouldn't be surprised. No, he's not going to do it. Kraken really gets the kill. Tempest, he has an ult. No, he doesn't actually. No mana for it, but it might not matter. Parasite the Infest. The Rockets are dodged. No. That Infest from Slap right there just in time to avoid death. Well played, and 8 minutes in. Again, the lead continues here for Sync. So they tried to respond, but weren't able to do so.
Just a fat blob in the early game, really.
Yeah.
Needs that mana.
But yeah, Thunderbringer again. You can tell. I wouldn't be surprised if he was spamming that R button of his, but not able to get it off. So, with that said, now he still has it. So if another opportunity comes up here in the near future, something to keep in mind. Other lanes. Speaking of that, top lane. Very likely a kill attempt. Middle lane also the kill attempt coming out. Pebbles is in trouble. There's the ultimate blast lightning. The chain lightning still not enough. Some way, somehow, that bolstering armband, man. He even has a power supply charges. Look at Parasite. He wants this dive. Out comes the dust. He has the power supply. He's going to use it right there. Throws him off, and down goes Parasite. Well played. The patience right there from Cholo Saiban. He could have easily panicked and used that power supply a lot earlier. And Parasite very likely wouldn't have committed if that happened, but he wanted him to commit to turn it around. Top lane, no, he's going to be fine.
But yeah, I mean, I think are ahead again, similar to game one, but similar to game one as well. They don't have the greatest sort of late game mean, neither do Nullstone either, I guess, but I mean, they still have the Tempest, the Pebbles, which can both easily scale incredibly well into the late game, but also they've got the Madman carry, which shouldn't be understated. Whereas for Sync, it's really just the Valkyrie and perhaps the Kraken. So if Nullstone again, similar to game on, if they can take this a little bit later, they'll be in a bit of a better situation. But one thing's for certain though, I think Chipper should try and look to get more involved though. He's level 6 now. His team is losing the early game, and Chipper, a great hero early on to really get involved and rotate early on. And actually, it's gonna top lane. Magnus in.
Oh
my god,
Pebbles
no.
also going at it. You do see up here though. Yeah, Arrow misses. He's gonna be fine, but Pebbles and Kraken continuing to go at it. Now Pyromancer's here as well, but Kraken, he's already fallen back to the bottom lane, being played by Flensmeister here. So.
But I would like to see him rotate though, because if he rotates, then obviously he's not going to get ganked from the Valkyrie and Magnus, and he can get dived any time that they want to. And he's level 7. Yeah, he doesn't have steam boots or any kind of great mobility on, but he should still rotate over if he can. Fun to bring up middle lane though.
Yeah, he actually blast lightning himself right there. Remember, there's a couple of reasons why that's actually solid to do now. One of them being it gives you that increased movement speed now, which is kind of just a fun little tool there. But the vision that you get is obviously a pretty big deal. Yeah, you see the top lane again. They're trying to dive, but Chipper doing a pretty good job of hugging that tower, more so the trees up there to make sure that they don't get in there. Tempest, he's nearby. Okay, yeah, he's going to counter with this ward aside. Pretty good placement by him. Magma's coming in.
Oh, there.
He's not going to be able to stop it though. Arrow! Oh, he almost ran into it. That would have been unfortunate, but he does dodge it, and he counter ward, so well played right there.
Oh, invisible Pebbles as well, but they know though.
Yeah,
they're out.
Can they get out in time? It looks like it, yep. They're going to be fine. But yeah, seeing the ability to blast lightning yourself now to kind of counter ward too is actually pretty cool. To do that. I mean, sure, it's 135 mana, but not the worst case, especially in the mid to later game. That could actually be a pretty powerful tool.
It's very, very useful actually to counter ward as well. So
yeah. We're seeing Invis, and in this case, something like the Chipper. Or not Chipper, yeah. The Assassin Shot Chipper. The Madman is definitely what I meant to say. As far as speaking of Invis, Pebble's still Invis up here, but of course not going to find anything, and that's going to be wearing off now. So, yeah, well, I will say I'm growing on this player, Total Simon especially. He's actually been a kind of standout player for them, I feel like, for Nullstone Gaming as of late especially. So.
Best Bolivian player
yeah,
in the world.
#1 Bolivian player in the world. That's you could probably say that with some good confidence right there. He's 4-2-0 here against he's the only factor that's really keeping Nullstone in this early on, but
And they really do need to pick up this portal key on Pebbles though, because they are behind, and that's kind of the only item that can really get them back into the game, because Tempest isn't really going to be able to get them back into the game in terms of out farming them. Chipper could do some maybe early rotations, and obviously Madman's busy farming, so it is the portal key on Pebbles here that's going to hopefully change the sort of early game here for Nullstone Gaming. Although Magnus is going to try and shut him down if possible.
Madman bottom in the meantime just came out. That was an easy gank from the beginning. He didn't even move that whole time. I wouldn't be surprised if he was AFK, honestly, but Beaverbanger just gets picked off. Good find right there by Parasite and Kraken. Middle lane Stalagmites, no, just farming with it. As he wanted to pick up the bit that he could right there. Magnus is nearby with Valkyrie, so they're looking for the arrow, looking for that initiation. They're not going to be able to get it, though. And instead, they'll have to be patient with that. This is opening some good farm for Chipper now. This is like the first time this game he's actually been able to at least get some decent farm here. And it's only going to happen for another 30 seconds or so, as there's some... they are rotating in, but who's that porting in, actually? Okay.
Yeah, it should be meant, because Chipper doesn't want... why do you want to put a farm on Chipper anyway? He's as long as he's got levels, then he's going to be useful. Madman needs the farm, so I like to see Chipper... Oh, arrow.
Just missed, yeah.
I mean, that's a good scout until though, even if it doesn't hit. At least now he knows Chipper's there, so he can't push up. But yeah, I mean, Chipper should be more involved in trying to help and sort of create space for Nullstone, for Madman and Pebbles. He doesn't really need to start farming, honestly. He just needs to find kills.
No ultimate off Valkyrie here. What a noob. No, obviously Valkyrie Prism usually get that later on. Pebbles, okay, he's going to be fine.
Too tanky.
A little bit too tanky. They realized that pretty quickly. Again, he's got the power supply full charges now, or 10 charges even on it.
Oh,
for the
Kraken.
time being, so.
Picked up his portal key, man.
Yeah.
Flensmeister's farmed a lot, man.
Yep.
A lot of farm.
Yeah, Flensmeister playing the Kraken here.
Pebbles could fall. He's like 60% actually. Oh.
He's going to run right into him. The charge misses. He still might get it, though. He hasn't released the Kraken. You do see Parasite even coming in and release the Kraken, maybe in front of him. Doesn't even need it.
Doesn't even.
Decides to save it, and for good reason. Chipper, he dodges the rockets. He's going to portal key away. And he will survive.
Oh,
man.
So close.
That's brutal. So close to actually stopping it, but
What?
unsuccessful. Now the top lane. Look at this. God, I feel like we're seeing so much invis this game. As now Magnus comes in. He's going to channel the eruption. No, he's level 5. Actually, never mind. So that could be the difference maker. Never mind. KZ gets credit with that call to Valkyrie coming out. Level 4 now, and he saw the damage potential there. So
All these ganks being set up by Sync, it just seems to be always so successful, always seem to be working, but like Nullstone Gaming though, like all their ganks just seem to be sort of failing, honestly, and I guess it could be going back to obviously Tempest, more of a passive jungler compared to sort of aggression coming out from Parasite, but still, I don't know, it just seems like, honestly, Sync they're coming out successful every single time they go for a gank, and as a result, obviously they're not falling behind the golden experience.
apparently Flensmeister doesn't actually need to land his charge, because again, he misses the charge, but it doesn't matter, as they are going to set up a fairly easy kill without the charge onto Pebbles right there. So much for Pebbles in the start that he was looking at, and now that's not going that well. He's 4-4 now, top lane. You see the chainsaws, but Magnus goes the other direction. Valkyrie Prism is active. That's going to help him get away, at least initially. I don't know if he's going to ultimately survive. Valkyrie getting locked out by the Tempest ultimate, but the follow-up on him wasn't enough, so Magnus stays alive. Valkyrie lives as well. I mean, Insania not in the best spot, though. Yeah, no TP, so they're going to look for him. I don't know if they notice that or not, but he's acting like he's gone.
If he's gone back to base. Oh,
so crafty. I like it. Oh, he's going to live.
So
they have no clue.
Oh, please just rock him. It's so
geez,
funny.
that would be hilarious. But Pebbles, middle lane, geez, the time is real.
Phew, I wish I was there.
It's smart, man.
God,
You know, mind games.
So true.
Using those mind games there. Yeah, you could kind of feel it almost. I don't want to say this is a unserious game again. There's a lot of money on the line and everything, but you can just feel like Sync's feeling really good. They're having a good time. Nullstone, almost as if they're in a spot of, you know what, it's Sync Esports. We're not looking too good. We're down 0-2. We'll see what happens, but I'm not saying they're giving up. I'm just saying it's, especially with the way this game is looking, they're kind of in the overtime phase now almost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you mean, though. Like, particularly going against like an early to mid-game sort of style of draft, which Sync have put in front of them, it is kind of a little bit demoralising, though. Like, if you go behind on kills, which they have, if they losing in quite a considerable fraction, which they did in the last game, it is a little bit demoralising, though, and it is definitely something that should be mentioned, because I mean, morale and momentum and sort of that motivation is very, very important in any team sport, particularly in Hon as well. So it's something that should be mentioned, though, definitely.
Yeah. That was interesting. So Mammoth pointed him right into the arrow of Valkyrie, but not really a big deal. Has no really follow-up on it. Kraken portal key goes in right here. He's actually looking. Oh, he actually might be able to. He was up there. Now they realize. You do see Kraken is trying to find somebody. Pyromancer, though, yeah, he's actually going to tank these Ancients, apparently, and eventually port back to base. Instead of getting caught right there, so. Makes the escape. Bottom lane, Chipper. I think Kraken may be able to get a kill himself, to be honest. In fact, he's going to go in right here. I mean, he has Parasite, but even without Parasite, he could have very likely still gotten it. But Parasite just makes sure, and also no return damage, so well played. And these two especially, both Flensmeister and Slath have been just moving around as a team. You see Codex picked up there.
Yeah, so. I mean, I'm kind of surprised, though, because there's no Nullstones picked up from Nullstone.
See, you cut me off right as I was about to make that joke. And I think you knew that, so you're like, no, I gotta do it.
I had to get in there before, man.
I gotta do that.
Even Quincy messaged me, goes, oh,
comes the Codex.
Oh,
the trolls are real. Yeah, another pick off again. This just really feels like Sync is just, they're in control. Nullstones, nothing's really working for them at this point. And I mean, hell, Madman's going for a tablet. That's very strange in itself. He's actually just bought a Neophyte's book here.
It makes sense. Oh, no.
It's not something you see every day.
Like, oh, Chipper.
Oh, Chipper indeed. He's, okay, Magnus all of a sudden comes out, but no, he's not going to open.
Focus buffer. Strong.
Too strong. Gets away. Thunderclaw finished by Casey, by the way. I like it. Good choice, Casey. Charge. This one connects. And there you go. Thunderbringer Ultimate guarantees it. More so kill steals it even. Storm Spirit was the first item, by the way, for Mickey playing the Thunderbringer. Always fun to see, you know, what items a new hero goes for. Unfortunately, like I keep going back to, this is more of a one-sided game, and so, you know, take that how you will. But
Because of the Thunderbringer.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
the Thunderbringer had they did a lot of work in the mid lane. Not only did it obviously give him some farm because of the chain line, it did slow down Pebble's farm because he had to obviously be wary of the harassment that it took. And they couldn't. I mean, they got the 1 kill on him, but that honestly was a little bit of an overextension from Mickey. But the hero can work though. It's just shown as long as it's not work versus like a hooker like Prisoner or Devourer, it can definitely work. Maybe against a Magmus it wouldn't work either, but against like Pebbles or like Pestilence, although we don't see him a lot, it can definitely work. And buyback, look at that rage buyback as well.
it's clockwork, man. They just keep doing it. There's a vote to concede, and I don't know if they're going to be on different pages here as far as whether they actually want to concede or not. But yeah, GG well played are going to be called. So almost like an anticlimactic finish here, and what that is going to do it. There you go. It is official. But Sync Esports, they are your Cycle 5 champions. Congratulations to them. That's got to be a great feeling, especially in dominating fashion as they did. This is arguably the most dominating cycle I think they had.
Yep.
I mean, I guess they did
agree.
drop a game to Nullstone, to be fair, in that winner bracket. But even like we were talking about, they were ahead basically that whole game until.
Yeah, and they threw.
And then, in a sense, yeah, I mean, that happens, but it's through a little bit, so Nullstone ended up winning that. But yeah, I think you could say that this is definitely the most dominating. And I wonder if a little bit of that has to do with the chip on their shoulder. After
Or
what happened
insanely
last cycle,
drafting.
or yeah, there you go too. There's that fact. That
yeah.
was a new thing this cycle. So, but yeah, the ultimate point is that we got Sync Esports winning now 4 to the 5 cycles here as a result of this. So big congratulations for them, and they're sitting comfortably in that first place spot right now as far as the standings go too. So that's another thing like I keep going back to. We got to start paying more and more attention to. You know, again, we don't know the ultimate how it's ultimately going to play out here as far as what means what, but you know, the higher seed you are, you know, the better off it's going to be is just general logic there. So they are in that comfortable spot. They get their portion of the prize pool. Nullstone, you can talk about them too. Obviously a second place finish. This is their highest finish so far, so that in itself is a pretty good feeling, I'm sure. It's definitely an improvement, and I think this is a team that's going to kind of continue things going into next cycle, but clearly they ran into a brick wall here. Maybe also a little bit drained from that crazy series against.
Could be. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Nullstone clearly a great team, and one thing that I think every single sort of maybe perhaps second tier team outside of Sync and BMG is that the drafting, the sort of the strategy, like you can just sort of see in terms of the draft and the strategy as well from Sync is that they're just another cut ahead. Like you see them pull out like a dual support which they never ever play, yet they play it to perfection in terms of their execution, as if they've played it every single game breaking. And I think that is honestly the difference between Nullstone Gaming and like maybe the top tier teams of Zinc, for example, is that they don't have that perhaps strategy or their draft down per se. They've got great team, they've got sort of great individual skill. It's just that maybe the strategy is really the key difference between Zinc and Nullstone, because both of these games Zinc had such a big advantage in terms of the draft, and so as a result came ahead. But definitely they got a great team to work on, and obviously there's a couple of cycles left as well. So who knows? There could be even a third person to take #1 crown this season breaker.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is the first time, actually, wouldn't it? It'd be the first time.
Ah.
So it was SG and BMG season 2, and then it was Complexity and
No,
SG,
because it
or
was TDM and
so it was TDM and
TDM
SG.
Stay Green. No, Complexity won a cycle, I believe, in season 1, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe.
Was it? No, it was Complexity TDM in season 1, and then season 2 was I don't know. All I know is I'm pretty sure there's only been 2 champions. I'm almost.
I think you might be actually ultimately right on that. So
I don't know who.
Point being, it's there's not a whole lot of different champions, no matter what that number is.
Yeah.
Is what that comes down to. So cycle or season 3, even we'll see if it happens to be 3 different ones eventually or not. We got 3 more cycles for that, as you're pointing out. Cycle 6, 7, and 8. Of course, after cycle 8, then we move into the playoff stages from there on out. So now again, this it's a little bit unfortunate here. This puts us at a spot of. Well, I'll wait to go into that a little bit longer, because it looks like we are going to be joined by a guest here. Let me bring him on in just a second. Of course, to talk about them winning cycle 5 here. Let's go ahead and bring on the one and only Insania here. And I give him a call. See how things are over there in Sync World. As soon as that man answers, so sure, feeling pretty good. Insania, you there?
What's up, man? What's up, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I bet you guys are doing pretty good as well. Feeling good after that victory.
Yeah, of course. It was kind of anticlimactic, but
That's the exact word I used. That's funny. No. I mean, well, so again, it's anticlimactic but at the same time, so how about that? You guys lose Cycle 4, of course, to BMG. Were you almost hoping to match up against BMG again, or what for you was it like whatever? At least we won the cycle.
wow, I haven't even thought about that.
Okay.
So I suppose we're just happy to win the cycle. We haven't really been able to practice a lot previous to the cycle, because people just simply dodged us in scrims, and they didn't want to scrim us. So we felt like as a team we'd gotten a lot worse with time, but this cycle we took it really seriously and scrimmed a lot, and I feel like we're back on track again.
Yeah. Yeah, we were actually just talking about that. Yeah, I think you can argue this is probably the most dominating cycle so far out of all the cycles here, and especially saw it here at the grand final. So, Thunderbringer coming out for that final game. Was that a little bit of troll, or was it a little bit of just having fun, or was you guys actually maybe practicing this a little bit?
Okay, we have not practiced it, but it kind of fit the lineup, and Mickey was like, dude, trust me, I play this all the time. And when Mickey says that, you just gotta pick him what he wants.
Mickey usually, if he does well, then you guys do well. So keep Mickey happy. I think it's a good strat for you guys, too. You're the new drafter for the team, in case you weren't aware. Yeah, obviously here in Cycle 5, you, for the first time, stepping in as the drafting role for Sync Esports. How did that come about, first off, if you don't mind?
Well, before Cycle 4, we actually started discussing it, and we started trying it out in scrims, like the little scrims that we could get. And I think that was partially why we were so shaky in Cycle 4. We didn't really have a clear captain at that point, because me and Dennis were still like swapping it around. But it was simply like, it's kind of hard to lead from a carry position. I know you guys talked about it on Houndcast today, so yeah. I won't go into it too deep. But yeah, it makes it easier, and I think I have a little bit more experience than Dennis leading teams as well. So it just worked out better this way, I think. Gives him more energy, and it allows him to focus on his own game.
Is it fun for you being a drafter overall? I mean, you have some experience, as you mentioned, but does it keep you more entertained even in the games?
I think so. I mean, it is always more fun to have more responsibility, and to be able to like outdraft people is one of the best feelings in the game. And I think a big reason and why we did so good this cycle was because we were very prepared in every single draft, and we knew exactly what to do in order to win the drafts really hard. And I think that was reflected in the games. Well,
let's talk about that game one especially then, because clearly, yesterday you guys played Nullstone, or that wasn't yesterday, that was last week. But anyways, they took a game off you. The one game they did take off you was with that Oogie, and you even banned that the next game in kind of a response. A lot of people, we thought it, I'm sure Nullstone even thought it, that you guys were going to ban Oogie right off the bat. You didn't. You didn't ban Oogie. They picked it up, and you guys dealt with it clearly. So was that something you guys, I'm sure, strategized and planned out beforehand?
Yeah, honestly, the game last weekend, we kind of like started trolling a little bit. Well, not trolling, but like this atmosphere in Skype got a little bit too unserious, and we kind of felt like we threw that game. We didn't really feel like it was Oogie. Maybe you guys from a Houndcast point of view, like from our point of view, it just felt like it was on us. That could have just as well been any other hero. So yeah, we're not too afraid of the hero, but of course we know how to deal with it.
Yeah, showed that. Minnie, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, normally you never, ever draft, like, a dual support, but I guess in Game 1 you could maybe warrant it, because, like, they had a very, really weak in terms of early to mid-game lineup. I guess the dual support was a lot stronger than picking up a jungler in that situation, I'd assume.
Oh, you're asking why we did it?
Yeah, I was just wondering, because I was...
Okay.
I think more so running a dual support, because, as Quincy pointed out, only twice now. That was only the second game you guys have actually ran a dual support in Sync. So basically, why was that the decision?
Okay, well, they picked Keeper Jungle, and it's just an easy way to punish like greedy junglers, or junglers that can't really do a lot, is to go aggressive dual lanes.
Yeah.
And even if you don't win the dual lane long lane, you shut down their carry's farm speed, and normally when a carry is in free farming, they start whining in Skype. I learned this from playing with many carries, and it's just like mental advantage to have the carries thrown off of his game.
All right.
Even if you don't win the lane, it's just like, that's usually enough.
We used to call it the chew factor way back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of stands
Yeah, I
there,
remember.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, dress to chew.
Indeed. Mitty, is there anything else you got?
No, that was it really. Just wondered. But, yeah.
All right. What do you think of advance or moving on here now in San Diego, going into what's going to be Cycle 6? Again, you guys now have won 4 to the 5 cycles. The second place finish, even the one you lost. You're sitting pretty comfortably amongst the points and everything. You guys feeling like you're going to be finishing off strong here throughout the season, or?
I mean, you asked me that after Cycle 3, and I said I don't see us losing a cycle, so I'm going to be humble this time and
All
say
right.
I hope we win, but I'm not going to take anything for granted.
There you
So
go.
I got another question now.
What's
I've
that?
just thought of one. With BMG, obviously they didn't even make it into the second week.
Nope.
Like, what's your thoughts about them? Like, obviously it was kind of a surprise to me and Breaky and probably the rest of Honcast as well. Like, what's your thoughts on them just in terms of going forward and why they didn't come into Cycle 2? Or sorry, the next week of this cycle.
I think it has a lot to do with the team as a whole. Like I think I've said this before on interviews. If that team clicks, they're dangerous, but they can be just as not dangerous when they don't click. It's a lot of those players. I played with them back in NK, so I know what the atmosphere can be like in Skype. And you guys casted us with our Skype, and we received a lot of flame for the atmosphere in our Skype call. And I'm pretty sure it's still the same with those players. So if it clicks, they're always going to be really good. But if it doesn't, it just doesn't work out.
Yeah. Again, as we saw that last cycle, but this cycle, definitely a different story. So, I guess that pretty much starts to wrap things up. So, as always, Insania, any final words, any shout-outs here?
I'd like to give a shout-out to all the players on my team. Kezu, Mike, and Dennis, not Slot. And a shout-out to Lagaplutin. Thank you for watching our games. I'm sorry they weren't more epic. And a shout-out to USA for coming second. I mean, it's fun to see a North American team
America.
doing good.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied.
Yeah, me too.
America for the win. All right. Thanks again, Insania, as always, and best of luck moving forward. Again, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
There we go. Insania joining us there from good old Sync Esports. Of course, now officially the drafter. And, perhaps a good. That was actually interesting, kind of hearing the logic there behind a mix of, being a support player in general, but something that they even had talked about prior to that cycle 4. I know a lot of people would have just assumed, like, oh, they lost the cycle, so making some dramatic changes. But, yeah, and I believe him. I mean, it's just probably something that's been maybe talked about, and in the end, decided to make it happen. So that's the deal there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, that does officially kind of start to wrap things up now for what is cycle number 5 coming to a close. As Sync, again, your champions here, a 3-0 victory over Null Stone Gaming, of course. So Null Stone second place finish, good for them. And it's definitely turning into kids. Similar to last season, Stay Green was on top as far as the points. Now later on, I mean, BMG was climbing. It was actually making a very close two-way race even near the end, but ultimately Stay Green came out on top. But where I'm getting at is that Sync's in a comfortable first place spot right now. But there's going to be a great battle, second through 8th place.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just going to be moving around
the playoffs,
here and there.
Man. The
Yeah,
playoffs are
it's
going to
be fun.
so intense. Like, whew,
Man,
it's gonna be
Dawn
good.
and Night Raid are no longer a part of Diamond Division, at least for
Oh.
Cycle 6. That's
It's
crazy
so
to say in
strange,
itself. But
That seemed very,
we're
very
going to
strange.
welcome back Reason Gaming and Prime Icarus. Shout out to those two teams. As Quincy pointed out earlier, that they qualified today, both advancing on to the Grand Finals. Reason eventually winning that Grand Finals, but again, the big picture is that they both qualify for Diamond. So good to see them back. Reason, even Prime Makers too. We'll see what they can make plays. They will be matched up against Sync Esports in that first round matchup. So it's always that tough spot. Coming from gold, it's like, welcome to Diamond, and now here's Sync Esports. Good luck, have fun. All right, Mini Maggot, I'm going to start wrapping up here. Any final words, as always, man? What you got here?
Yeah, just a quick shout. As Insania didn't give a shout out to Zlaps, I'll give a shout out to him. He's an awesome streamer. Catch him on his stream at twitch.tv/tooeasy. Good guy. And talking of streams, actually, hopefully by next week I will be doing my streaming because I'm getting my place next week. Hopefully it's guaranteed, and hopefully I'll be streaming and stuff, and that'd be quite cool. That'll be Mini_Maggot, and you can follow me at Twitter as well, Mini_Maggot, if you so please. And obviously thanks to you, Breaky, as well, for having me as usual. Do love casting with you, man. It's good fun.
It's good times. Good times. Going to continue on here in Season 3, excuse me. for Han Tour. So shout out to Quincy as well, of course. Shout out to you guys for tuning in. And again, speaking of that notice there, so here we are. As usual, going to have the weekend break like we talked about, guys. But this time around, there's actually going to be a following weekend break with some holidays coming up here. So we're not going to be coming back for Han Tour Season 3 coverage until, what are we looking at? That'll be the 6th. Yeah, December 6th here, being November 16th today. So again, a good amount of time off, really, even close to 3 weeks at this point, unfortunately. So a little bit of time off, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe something pops up here and there as far as some other events. So, but as far as Han Tour goes, expect that to resume. So, team's going to get a chance to a little bit of a break here, maybe some roster shuffling, maybe something else here and there, but ultimately going to be returning back for what is Cycle 6 again on December 6th. So,
sorry, one quick little bit of information. You talk about roster shuffling. I don't want to leak too much information because I know it's only a little bit of a rumor, but I've heard there's some potential shuffling of BMG. That's what I'm going to say.
Really?
Hashtag rumors.
I was just saying that simply because that's breaks happen. Yep. That's what happens. So,
hashtag rumors.
All right, hashtag rumors
shit
coming out. There we go. Shots fired.
Stirring.
Hashtag rumors. Shit stirring. Whatever you want to call it, I guess. That's going to be fun to see how that ultimately kind of plays out. Again, don't expect, I should say, a podcast too, obviously, in that time as well. We'll let you guys know when we're going to be doing that. So, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, going to be wrapping up from here. Oh, one more thing. Quincy, once again, he is actually going to be casting over on his stream. I'll be hosting once again. I'm not exactly sure. I assume it's just more diamond replays, maybe some gold replays at this point. It'll be something. It'll be something fun. Something from Han Tour. It's usually replay coverage, but he's not even sure either, apparently. But it's going to be some good coverage there. And so if you're a fan of Han and fan of competitive Han, see actually covered live here on HANcast. Quincy and crew do a great job of taking care of it over to there. So twitch.tv/Quincy0191. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, have a good night. We'll see you next time here on HANcast. Get a little bit of a break here. We'll see you around. If anything, congratulations one more time to Sync Esports for taking cycle number 5. Have a good night, guys.